All right, Shalom. Giving all praises, all glory, all honors unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors once again to the apostles, elder bishops of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the 144,000, rest of the hopeful elect out there. This is your brother, the preacher Zion from GMS Atlanta, back with another edifying video. And as I've been speaking about a lot lately, dealing with this digital ID shift, this digital transition, this digital prison that Esau is creating and developing in the earth and through these different countries. And we spoke about it at camp this past Saturday, that there are a number of different countries creating a digital public interface, digital wallets, digital IDs that are going to be a part of the system, the new system that will emerge as the image of the beast, that unless you are tied to it, particularly through the micro C-hip, the implant, which is the Motb, then you won't be able to buy or sell. You know, you won't be able to set up a business, have a company. All of your information, all your data, all that is going to be tied through the government, CBDCs, which is central bank digital currencies, and so forth. And then as far as the citizens buying and selling, you're going to have the mark, have the implant. Okay? And we're seeing a lot of economic turmoil around the world due to Trump and his trade tariffs, and how that's going to affect the U.S. eventually, and affecting different things worldwide. All right, so you have a number of different countries that are already set up for the shift, and we spoke about India being the successful blueprint for this digital system. Okay. So I have a few headlines, and I'll just read them. I'm gonna make this short. I speak on this topic a lot too ad nauseum, and you can just see all the evidence, see the research for yourself, and what's going on, and how that ties into what's to come. Okay. So it says Denmark awards $4.4 million contract for development of digital ID wallet. So your digital ID wallet is going to be tied not to your personal bank account, and the government knows once you do your taxes, and the IRS know. They're going to know at all times. And that's the key thing about the image of the beast and the system and how it ties into these governments. You're going to be pretty much surveilled at a higher rate. Everything will be controlled. And there's the famous quote, I believe it's from Carl Schwab, as he said, Klaus Schwab, excuse me, you will own nothing and be happy. You'll be able to purchase amenities here and there. They got 15-minute cities being developed in different cities around the world, different major places. So you'll get the implant, you'll be able to, within 15 minutes, purchase, whatever you're doing, swipe your hand or your forehead, and go back home. So they're creating a digital ID wallet. Same thing you have in your paper documents, but this is going to be somewhere in a database where they can watch. Okay, so that's Denmark. Let's go to the next country. Germany. It says Germany's new government pledges support for digital ID. Now, you notice these countries are all for the government establishing these things, which of course, you get you a license that's through the state, right? But this is going to be big government. And everything is going to be what they call interoperability, where they'll be able to operate and interconnect together. Whether you're in the EU and America, all the NATO countries will be connected together, but they'll also be able to interoperate with the BRICS countries. That's all it is. All BRICS in the West is one big, two wings of the same beast system. Okay? BRICS in the East and NATO in the West. And that's going to be this digital global order that Edom, is developing. And we've been warning you about these things to come, because once you are tied into this digital system, you're going to be a slave and a servant forever under Esau. Once they introduce the Motb and it's made mandatory, and different people get it, that's going to be key to them being a slave under Esau. And if you're an Israelite and you take it here in America, then you're going to be destroyed. That's where you get the difference between the 1/3 and the 2/3. The 1/3 would be delivered, which are the elect, and then the 2/3 are going to be destroyed. Okay? I'll just read this here. It says, Germany's new coalition government has pledged to continue digitizing public services and provide a digital identity to each citizen. Once they introduce this and they give a digital identity to each citizen, because everybody has licenses and ID, but they're digitizing it, as they're saying. Okay? And once they do that, then the next thing is to just introduce the implant. The state is also looking to expand security, right, with biometric surveillance, boost the AI industry, and centralized data protection. So this is what we're talking about. We're talking about Esau being able to surveil, know your biometrics, your biological output, input, what you buy and sell, and using AI to monitor everything. That's a digital prison. Okay? And that's just Germany. Right? Now the next one here, Switzerland. Switzerland EID digital wallet open for public testing. Switzerland has begun public testing for its national electronic identity, allowing citizens to use a beta version of the SWIU digital wallet app. The trial has been open since late March and enable users to create a fictitious EID. All right, so this is a testing. Okay. Let's see here. The testing is part of a technical implementation plan presented by the Swiss government in December. The deadline for the full EID launch has been set for 2026, while the government has allocated 100 million francs for the project. Before its launch, however, authorities will need to convince the public. Remember where you read in Revelation 13, it says what? That the beast shall deceive them by the miracles. Oh, look at this new technology. Everything in one implant. Just take it. It's just like getting it'll be just like getting the jump shot, the juice. Back in 2021. So you get the implant and you're good to go in their new society. So they need to convince the public to cast their votes for the initiative in a referendum, which will likely take place this autumn. A previous proposal which would have allowed private companies to manage citizen data was shot down in a 2021 referendum. Yeah, everything is going to be run through the government now. Okay? Let's get a scripture. Okay? Or you got this scripture. Let me see. 2 Corinthians 2. 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us. Who's Satan? In the physical, in the flesh, that's these Edomites. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us. Satan, Esau, the Illuminati behind the scenes, the shadow government. For we are not ignorant of his devices. We're not ignorant of his plans. You know, we are being in this truth. We have an insight to what the plans of Esau is, and that's to have the whole world under his control through wickedness. Okay? The scripture says that the elect are not in darkness. Right? 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. After this next crisis and this next major global event, the hour of temptation, if they introduce the Motb, that's going to be them saying peace and safety, right? It's going to be part of it. And then once they introduce the Motb, then what's going to happen? The coming